Just in front of us, the high hill you can see in front with a Triassic limestone. But I told you we have not used because it is still not completed. And then it is out of our main sites we want to see and visit. The several cities around. One we have Just, this is Lajkovac, and another is Lazarevac. Here is this water source. The wells drilled here are about 250 meters deep, and then they found that this depletion should be good quality from the Triassic rocks. You will see that Triassic is in a reddish, it consists of the reddish limestone and some sequences of the sandstone. Lower part is Permian, so we have transition between Permian and lower Triassic Vervenian rocks, and then upper section are built from the massive limestones, which are very sensitive. We are now at the Stuborovi Dam site. It's a newly constructed dam. It's just 2 years in operation, and we got some useful information from the Sasha, who is now forestry engineer for erosion in charge of the dam management. Just the history, just to repeat, maybe you don't hear, that idea to build this dam, it was included in the water management plans in the 1970s, along with the 50 other reservoirs, because in that time the Serbia was mainly supplied by the potable water from the ground, from the aquifer system, more than 90%. But since that time, due to the relatively reduction of the water reserves in the Belgrade alluvium, many of these dams out of this planet 50 has been constructed in the country. Now we have somehow increased the percentage of the surface water utilization. It is now relation between ground and the surface water is about 75 to 25 still in the groundwater advantage. So 75% we use the groundwater. Now it is operational level, which are normal level of the reservoir. And the west from here is built by this rock. When the dams was constructed, there was some also objection. Now it becomes the operational level, which are normal level of the reservoir. Operates 250 millimeters pipeline delivers the water to We are here on the spring of Perichec, one of the largest springs in karst of the western Serbia, in Dinaric karst. This is among the three biggest. The discharge of this spring varies between 0.4 up to 9 cubic meters per second, between 1 to 20, which is still not a big amplitude comparing the other karstic springs we are going to visit in Montenegro or in Bosnia and Herzegovina. So it's a nice, clean water, not properly utilized and just used for the local fish ponds. The pass we will cross through, and I will show you where exactly there is a one small collier, small depression, or where there is some honors or sinkholes also there, and according to the tracing test, this water from the mountains is connected to this spring. So this spring is not properly utilized. So, however, this water, according to the amount, can supply some other city downstream, which is one of the proposals we made in our previous project. No, just Slovenia, between Slovenia and Croatia. Krško. The total surface is more than 12 square kilometers, water surface. The maximum depth of the reservoir is about 70 meters. 70. So the dam is, all of them are Japanese production. In the 19th, we are lucky to have such a weather because sometimes we are in the clouds in this place.
I mean, you can ask those who are going for rafting, would they like to eat? We are here in the Mileševa monastery in the Mileševska Reka area where this one of the most important Serbian monastery has been built in 1304 in the 13th century by it as a kind of the donation of the Serbian king Vladislav in that time. It was very important in Serbian history because the relics of Saint Sava, the first Serbian patriarch, was here for a few hundred years until the Turks brought these relics and burned them in Belgrade in the 15th century.
everybody will
Pljevlja Basin is one of the largest tertiary basins in Montenegro, with a production of coal, and one of the largest open pit coal basin, where the coal is extracted and utilized for the thermoelectrical power plant. There are some ecological problems in the area. First of all, the karst aquifer was completely abandoned and utilized, not anymore utilized, and the second is the dump site, which is above the city, which causing sometimes the dusting and the air pollution. Coal mining industry, and from those who are employed in the thermoelectrical power plant, which you could also see a little bit behind this open coal mine pit. Regarding the local geology, we have the oldest rock, or Carboniferous and the Permian. This is late Paleozoic rocks. Next sequence is lower Triassic, and they're especially autumn and winter months. As I said, all have limestones and karstic rocks. The water is slow down.
increased. So, the main reach, and from there doing our rafting.
De ők visszajönnek háromnegyedre ide.
Háromnegyedre jönnek?
De háromnegyedre jönnek vissza.
My name is Martin Đaković. I work for Geological Survey of Montenegro. We are here at the locality Sedlo near Durmitor mountain, and here we have nicely developed Durmitor flysch, which is of Upper Cretaceous to Lower Paleocene age. Mostly developed are calcarenites with some shale intercalations, clays, a lot of redeposited shallow water debris with rudist karsts and shallow water foraminifera, but also deep water foraminifera of Upper Cretaceous and Lower Paleocene age. In the early Paleocene, so that's about it.
The most important coal deposits region over there. What is also interesting in this area, we will see coal. So it's very interesting for the interpretation of this. It's also interesting with that method.
Hello. Thank you for bringing us here. Studenac meaning frozen water, freezing water. It is really case because the temperature you cannot even drink. It's just 4 degrees centigrade. It's extremely cold. But the main regional groundwater flow is flowing much deeper than these rocks and this surface.
Here we are on the road from Sedlo towards village of Trsa, and we have a contact between Durmitor flysch and shallow water Lower Cretaceous limestones behind us.
Teži put nisu imali, su išli od lonaca. Radili studiju utjecaja fizične takvih financijskih utjecaja i pašli zaleće. Sam se dolazi u ček. Pa se dolje po čeku želko vodio 10 minuta. glacier lakes, putting the clays, filling the holes with the clay. And this is the way to try to preserve the water on the surface in order to feed the animals with the water, for the watering of animals, and of course for using for their purpose.
We are here at the locality Prutaš with again Durmitor Flish, which is highly folded here, but still upper Cretaceous to lower Paleocene age.
My name is Slobodan Radosinovic. I am geologist from Geological Survey of Montenegro. We are now in the area of Piva Mountain near the Pišće village. We have just entered in this place, so we passed the Durmitor Flish area towards to the road from Žabljak to Pišće and then to Trsa and down to Piva lake. So this is the typical karstic area with a lot of karstic phenomena. This area is built by the Triassic limestones, Middle Triassic and Upper Triassic limestones.
The Triassic, mostly platform limestone sediments. We are in the village of Pišće, and the mountains in front of us are in Bosnia. This is Zelengora and Volujak and Maglić.
Documentation in Hungarian too. I mean.
So we are here in Piva Canyon above Piva Lake, and here we have platform sedimentation of middle to upper Triassic, Wetterstein, and above it Dachstein limestones. One are reefal, the first one are reefal, the second one are lagoonal, and that's it. Here we are at Piva Lake. We went from upper Triassic reefal limestones, and on the other side we have again Durmitor Flish.
In March, it's as high as
March? How much water they use for the production?
Yeah.
The dam is downstairs. The backwater is tail of the reservoir. And another project is now ongoing and will be completed in 5 to 10 years to have additional reservoir more up.
Ja se ponovi intervju.
Larger part Cimental of Montenegro.
Da nije teletina.
We are very, very, very. What is the society? Thank you for everything. Thank you. Society to society is serving.
Thank you. And of course, if you are going to next time, you have a very good.
Extension has about 130 square kilometers with a Bushko plateau.
This is the Vir locality near Nikšić. Here we are in shallow water limestones up from Upper Triassic to almost the end of Upper Cretaceous. This is all the high karst platform with a lot of shallow water organisms inside, from corals, from bivalves, from large foraminifera and algae, and at the end in Paleogene, so somewhere Paleocene to early Eocene, a flysch sedimentation is formed, so deepening of the basin, but up until then only in Upper Cretaceous there are some hemipelagic and pelagic limestones with cherts. Everything else is shallow water limestone.
This is the couple of phenomena here around. There are also intermittent springs a little bit away. Name is Mukaris. It's somebody who is silent and sometimes is saying something. This is, yeah, you heard? Katamotra. Okay. Katamotra. So most of this water from the upper Zeta, when is reached the edge or margin of the closed depression of Polje, it's disappeared in the big swallow hole. The largest swallow hole is called Slivje. It could absorb 100,000 liters per second or 100 cubic meters per second in one place, and then by naturally transferring this water by the shafts to 3 springs which are 600 meters below this polje at the level, let's say erosional level of Skadar Lake. That was the natural phenomenon. And then the water managers and the former Yugoslavia in the Tito time
Nekem fizetés, kiegészítés, meg ilyesmi.
just like to show you because it's a good place. This is the conceptual model. Here you have 3 reservoirs in this plateau, in the upper part, and all water is percolating down naturally to the springs, which are 600 meters below this level. So on the way to Podgorica, we will just drive over the margin of the karst. On that side, you will see several intakes, no intakes. In fact, this is the structure which preventing losses of water. And at the edge, at the end, we will drive down. On the way down, you will see this big pipeline.
Not natural, but
If you have money, if you have idea, you can place your idea. So we are here on the Opačica Dam, just on the southern margin of the retention of Vrtac in the Nikšić polje, which is behind us.
The construction is done just in order to try to evacuate the maximum floods, but in practice it never functioned. So there are a couple of such structures with the idea to prevent the water losses from this reservoir, but this is again not work. And we engineers, we learn a lot from this practical experience. Metal, in fact, this is over the ponor, where they register the place where the most of water making the vortex, and they realize, okay, this is the ponor, and they decided to put this metal structure, which in fact has a
Legalább ezt lekeríthetnék, kézzel, hogy valaki beleesik, de ne álljon el, igaz?
We are on the Krupa Vrtac dam site, the reservoir which never been filled with the water, and this is the last point where all the water collected from the two reservoir and from the Zeta river and been evacuated towards the pipes and towards the tunnel to the hydropower plant, which is 550 meters below this Nikšić point. Okay, and a few other colleagues also, they will also provide some.
Okay, please follow me just near the water intake.
The 6 municipalities along the coast, all of them are touristic. Two major goals Skadar lake in its western and northwestern part. So Karst Lake on the other side was below the lake level for almost 30 meters. So we have 30 meters of the water volume until the spring side, which is the summer. Mobile gate, which is functioning only during period of a high water of our discharge. We don't know exactly what. We are at the locality of Bolje Sestre, the main source for the supplying water to the Montenegrin Adriatic coast. This is one of the largest projects of that kind that been implemented in Mediterranean basins in the last almost half century. The project supplying now the 6 municipalities along the coast and enable proper water supply, the tourism and the local inhabitants. So it was really an engineering masterpiece to construct such a nice structure, cylindrical dam, which preventing mixture of the lake water and the fresh groundwater.
We are just in that way. We are just calling them to additional treatment. All the thing we use here, and the capacity is rising, and less water is needed.
Investigating and actually checking the quality, where we all the time compare and measure the quality, any kind of changes, disbalances.
Nije promenio. On varira, zavisno od takva, dominira kalcijum, a bikarbonati su...
Is done by the accredited and licensed institution in the Montenegro. Etc. are very low. The chloride is around 2.5. So after we complete these two...
Both groups. Going naturally, and the river Buna or Bojana in Montenegro language is starting exactly in this city of Shkodra, of Montenegro and Albania. Some previous map, which been exactly created by Owen Svić during his excursion here to Albania. The total volume of water in average is, however, this is a so-called crypto depression. Crypto why? Because the bottom of this lake is below sea level. Because the lower Seta and Morača jointly entered in this basin. The third of the inflow to the lake. What about the rest 40? There are about 40 cubic meters per second of this discharge. One of these brings lake water, which are not so clean. It's a doctoral thesis just about this karstic mountain range. Then you range with what I did this with some of my exercise. Continue to be like that. Now, something about the environmental impact. Somebody had an equation of the export. There were many discussions in that time and during the COVID. And then somebody said in Albania, oh, we have to count this dimension of this part. So content they should not know to swim. All those who are captain divers.
Stražar koji je tu noj stražari,
They fought against the guard.
Elég kemény. Én akartam, hogy belemegyének.
Tudtam, hogy az lesz.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Elérte a vita a vállát, nem ugye kijön. Nézd van, és figyelj előn a kiskati. Satol. Hova? Itt kell a
Traces of the gases here. They found that this is a promising land for the deep drilling for tapping the oil. And story about may cost more than 6,000 euro one night. Queen Elizabeth and many others nowadays. Singers.
We are here in the close to the Stone Sea, close to the hill above the city of Risan in the Boka Kotorska Bay, where there is a wonderful view on the Boka Kotorska Bay, as well on the wonderful island with the monastery and the entrance into the Boka Berige. So the small two islands you see, I told you this is artificial islands built by the stones from the fishermen and the sailors for current health. Means that we have this to reach our state. We are here in the middle of the most karstified area in entire Europe. It was recorded 300 potholes on the surface of only 8 square kilometers. This is named Stone Sea. No any single drop of surface water can be kept on the surface, and very fast flow going down to the one of the major world springs, Sopot, concerning its minimal discharge rate. The precipitation rate is the highest in Europe, 5,000 millimeters per year. There is no place like that. We are in the middle of Grahovsko Polje, close to one cistern as a structure which is collecting water. The local people utilize it in bedding plane and just build a weir in order to prevent further flow of this rainy water. And this is why we have a small reservoir of water which is utilized for the local people and animals watering as well. The reservoir is filled with the rainy water. In this area, rains are has a very high rate, more than 4,000 millimeters per year, and this is the only way to find some water is to collecting it from the rain. Which are over there, which I will show you later. But what is why I'm talking this is exactly because for the dam site they look to find and they finally choose the place where the dolomitic rock are present. And they really did good job because the losses from this dam is not so high. It's considering to be small if it's few hundred liters.
Da, eto ta prva. This Popovo polje is one of the cascade polje in a system of several levels of the karstic system.
We are somewhere in the middle section of the Trebišnica river in Popovo polje. The river is completely channeled and there is a concrete bed of the river in order to prevent further percolation and water losses. We have a completely different environment nowadays than it was before. Before in Popovo polje there were in average more than 250 days lake polje underwater, while just for 100 days people were able to make some cropping and harvesting. Today Trebišnica is discharging a large amount of water because hydropower system at the moment is closed, and many of the spawners which are previously not so active during this period of the year are now absorbing some amount of water. The interesting thing here is also water mills, which previously worked by using water vortex from percolated water down in the ponors. This is nowadays is anymore not functioning, and it is one of the ancient interesting structure. It was some fire down close to Dubrovnik happened, and they tried to escape. Few of them successfully did, but unfortunately 3 lives was lost. And this is why the system is not operating, and it's supposed to be open some months
close to December in this year. However, this amount of water, this Trebišnica, is flowing through the Popovo Polje until the last part and edge, and then through one, let's say, small gorge entering, call it Potkutovo Blato. It is almost marsh, and then this marsh.
This is first monument of nature in the since I reserved for Southeast Europe. Since so it's little. Other connection signs with the Middle Ages, local people and our connected with one nobleman from the Republic of Rome. Rome, as you know, the Republic.
One of the largest engineering project in the karst been developed exactly here in Trebišnica river system, and now we could see that there are plenty of fertile land. In the past there was just a lake for more than 250 days per year, and just 100 years was sufficient for having some cropping or herb planting. See, here you have agriculture. This is very famous Buna spring, which together with the Bunica spring represent the major drainage point of the high karst of Nevesinje Polje and the others, of surface of about 900 square kilometers. Minimal discharge is about 3 cubic meters per second, while the maximum is 380. So you can imagine how much it looks like when you have 100 times more water in this spring. Spring was explored by the divers in the several expeditions. The last one took place in 2003 when they discovered 70 meters deeper channel and the 550 meters long channel inside the cliff.
A može biti dobra cena za Poloniju. U nas stanje ništa droga. Možete pokažete.
Może ktoś dla niego jest. No właśnie, ale wiesz,
Ay mora ya.
Ti copri. Oh my God.
Most experience in Trebinje. Dr. Peter Milanovic is now 80 years.
Cień je bijelo ko ova podloga.
يجي تبرحك مش بتسرق.
Może proponuję? Go,